Hi, this is Jared Polak, co-founder of Entre Results, author of Entre Balance, Entre Business. We, another dynamic coach, Angela Britt, we're having a conversation as we continue to grow our team and onboard, and we're talking about how do you help new people set up their schedule? So we're adding some new awesome coaches to the Entre Results team, and so we just wanted to I thought it'd be helpful for you, no matter what business you're in, to think through time management. So Angela, I know we were talking a little bit about just ask me some of those questions that you were asking me, and we're kind of going to give a live, sort of a mini coaching session on how to help someone schedule. So what were you asking me before?
Really just how you help somebody that's maybe new to your team really look at their calendar and really, I guess, managing it so that they can grow in their business.
Yeah, that's a great question obviously for us at Entre Results, and one of our core values is to have an essence of work-life balance. And so what I always start with is, what are the things that are most important to you in life? And so even with people that are new, we talk about, with your family and your relationships and your health and your God, what are some chunks that you want to put in your schedule first? Now, a lot of times, that's not necessarily during the 8 to 5 work hours, but we always want to start with that because we want everyone to be focused on growing in all areas of life. So Angel, that's the first thing we do, is work on that. Then the second thing we do is we think through what are the revenue generating activities that you need to focus on? What does that look like? And so a lot of times, like in our case, really there's 3 things that we do. We focus on coaching and helping and adding value. We focus on selling, and we focus on marketing. And so what you have to do is you have to look at your calendar, and you have to put different blocks or chunks of time where you can focus on those specific things. And so, for example, I look at the calendar as really every day has 3 different chunks of time. You have kind of the morning chunk, and then you have like the noon to 5 o'clock chunk, and then you have the 5 o'clock to the end of the day chunk. And so sometimes when you look at your calendar on Monday through Friday, you really only have 10 chunks to focus on. And so you might say, if you're new and you're starting out, that 4 of those chunks needs to be in marketing. And so what does marketing entail? Well, business is different, but for ours, we do a lot of networking. And so you might want to think of what different chunks make the most amount of sense for you to be out and about, meeting people, connecting with people, and what works for your schedule, and then what is the chunks of selling or following up with those events, right? And so what maybe 2 of those chunks might be on follow-up. And so if you have 10 chunks, 4 of them might be in marketing, or 5 of them, and then 2 of them might be in selling. And then at the very beginning of coaching, maybe there might be only 2 chunks on coaching because you don't have a lot of clients yet. Whereas it changes as you go throughout your career. And then probably a half a chunk would be on like the admin type of stuff, or just the follow-up stuff. We have team meetings, for example. We have meeting rhythms, and so we want to get those meeting rhythms on the calendar as well. And so I know we're kind of doing a little live sort of impromptu thing, but what other questions do you have about, time management in terms of people's schedules?
I guess maybe just how do you stay focused on these things? How do you stay focused during the chunks? Because I think for many people, they thought they get pulled, whether it be their phone or their email or whatever it is. What are some ways that people can just stay focused so that those chunks are productive?
That's a great point. So then you look at where people's space are, right? Where do they spend their time and their space? And so some people, we have an office that people can come to, and some people, they want to work remotely from home. And so one is to find that space where you feel productive. I know, Angela, you're really productive in the office, and you just like to be in the office, and because there's other people around, and that's cool for you. What do you like about coming to an office? I guess, why does that work for you really well?
I think it just allows me to just put that hat on, if you will, just kind of disengage from all the responsibilities of home and then just focus on work.
Okay, so that's great. And so then some people I know have home offices where they're really productive. There's another coach in our team that loves working out of a home office. She said she likes working out of a home office, so that's something that can be worked on. So I think figuring out the space of where you're going to be is really important. And then sometimes you have to commit to not responding to email during a certain time, or you look at your phone a lot because you have a lot of people responding to you, so that maybe works for you. But for a lot of people, you kind of have to put your phone down for a little bit and really focus on what needs to be at hand. And then also, as we start someone new, we put together a schedule, and then a part of our coaching is you kind of work on these challenges, and everyone's unique and everyone's different. So some people might have different distraction problems, right, and things like that. But generally speaking, the only distraction that's really good is if someone's looking to like invest in your product and service immediately. That's a good distraction. Sometimes people work well with working for a certain amount of time, like setting a timer and say, I'm going to work hard on this, and then I'm going to take a 5-minute break, and that would give the space to respond back to people. So again, everyone's a little bit different, and I know that's probably not what everyone wants to think, that it's just if people are robots and everyone's the same, but that's the uniqueness of why business coaching each other is so important, but also individual owners and leaders that we coach, we know that they're unique, and so we actually tailor our process to each person.
So Jared, let me ask you, what are some things that you have learned as you've worked with clients that's really helped them stay focused and during that time management, just on a personal level?
Like people that I've worked with, what's helped them? Mm-hmm. Well, stating the obvious back to the work life, when people wake up early and they win the morning and they have a time of prayer or meditation and they're in a healthy position, like they're actually more focused. So part of it is like actually managing life outside of work helps people be really productive. So I think that's one thing that is really, really key. And then two, having some boundaries for yourself during those specific time frames, like I said. So a lot of times, especially when people have people on their team, they have got them in interruptions, if they have a door. And so having sort of boundaries where everyone knows, listen, I have a meeting rhythm where you can come ask me anything between this time period, but during these other hours, please respect my chance to get the other things done. I think that's important to have certain boundaries. And a lot of entrepreneurs have been I might have coached them, they've been coaching business for 20 years, they have companies for 20 years, and then they finally get to the point where they come to us and we realize how much time they're wasting throughout their entire day, and so we can help people become more productive, right? And so I think boundaries is another thing to think about, and then we go back to the fact that everyone's created differently, and so we go back to their unique communication styles based on DISC, and some people need to have more breaks than other people. Some people, music. I mean, it really depends on different folks what works for them.
So what about planning? How do you fit that into your calendar?
Let me do this. Let me close out on this topic, and we can do another one and talk about planning itself. And so I know that Angela, first of all, guys, Angela's been dying to do some podcasts, so I'm glad that she could join us for today. And so we'll close out for today, and make sure you take massive action. Have a better than amazing day.